To Kennedy's credit, this site was pioneering. For a commercial office center to attract high-end tenants in this marketplace was a little bit out there. And I think that the plan that we really worked on as a team was to lay the foundation of a multi-phase project that was mixed use and that created a sense of place for itself.
It was that sense that Bentall Kennedy had about the long-term future, that they would build a foundation for a neighborhood. And then this very, very solid mix of commercial and residential all wrapped around a public space that could be a legacy project, not only for Bentall Kennedy, but really for the city and the region.
1900 16th Street opened up in the bottom of the recession, and so the timing was difficult, and Bentall Kennedy is a long-term investor. They're here for the long term. They weathered that storm, and today we have the tenants that we have at the rents we have because they stayed the course and knew that they had a good investment, a good solid long-term investment. The second challenge is the socially responsible investing platform that Bentall Kennedy operates from with the union pension funds. We were able to put together 100% union contracting for this complex. It was a little daunting at the beginning, but it all worked out. There's a very high bar set for sustainability. This project is a LEED Gold project.
Bentall Kennedy said right from the get-go that they were comfortable pushing the limits of sustainability on this project. They wanted to be the most sustainable building in downtown. The access to all of the environmental amenities that make a difference in people's lives as they spend their day here.
With Bentall Kennedy, it's a long-term asset with a long-term investment strategy, and so that sustainability quotient and the commitment to materials really matters because they'll own this building for many, many years.
Union Station represents the vital connection to the past as well as the future, both from a transportation standpoint and is also land use. Again, perhaps maybe one of the most important things about this real estate and this location is its ability to be connected to the world.
It was a bit of a pioneering effort at the time. The vision that they had and looking at this block as a sort of community, if you will, was really pretty unique for this city. They really paved the way for the development of this area, and it's awesome to be a part of both the planning part of it and the implementation part of it.
To an employer, how do I grow my business in a down economy? I need to attract top-notch employees, take care of them, make sure they're well compensated, make sure they work in an environment that's conducive to productivity, and that's what we offer at 1900. That is one of the main reasons why it was successful in, albeit an economy that wasn't so strong.
We've been real lucky to get to over 90% leased. We have a ton of activity, a lot of excitement about tenants trying to get into the building.
You have these beautiful high-end spaces, and on top of it, they're green.
If you're a tenant at 1900, you're going to have retail amenities that are going to make a difference where you don't necessarily have to leave the confines of the building to find something that you're happy with on a daily basis.
There's no better location for an employer to recruit a wider geographic area for their employees. We really recognized what's important to the employers as part of a compensation package. Employees are really concerned with, hey, where am I going to live? Where am I going to work? We can recruit from the suburbs because you don't have to drive downtown. You can take public transportation. You can ride your bike. We've redefined work habits of the employees.
One of the big selling points was the Union Station redevelopment. When we started this in 2006, we didn't know exactly how quickly the project was moving forward, nor did anybody anticipate the level of multifamily development. What it's been has just been a tremendous positive for us.
Building a corporate mid-rise building here is set the standard for others to hopefully live up to.
It adds value to the market, it creates exclusivity, it creates excitement. It's been wonderful. And when the DIA line opens, people are going to be really surprised what a tremendous convenience that is for businesses down here.
We're building a city within a city at Union Station. There's no more exciting place in all of downtown, I would argue in all of the country. As DaVita came and looked all over Colorado for their corporate headquarters, they realized the benefits of the public transportation. They realized the benefits of where their employees would want to live and work.
DaVita was a big stamp of approval on the market, validating that this location can support what a corporate tenant really wants and needs. Other tenants definitely take notice. I think the DaVita presence down here, it's a tremendous validation for this location. There's a lot of top-level companies everywhere in this country or in the world that have to have a LEED building, otherwise it's not for consideration.
We made it possible to sell a green lease here in the building and to make the tenants excited about signing with us.
1900 is the first building of its caliber to be done down in this market.
When we started this project, nobody really had their arms around the importance of LEED. It was still a relatively new concept. We kind of evolved as LEED evolved, and now it feels like a standard operating practice.
It's the next generation of building.
It's a David Triba design. It's a development from Trammell Crow Company. You have something that's considered a designer label in this industry in this time. Architecture tells a story, and the Trammell Crow Company and David Triba are building our story in this day and age. It's an amazing thing to be a part of.
With Denver Union Station nearing completion, the DaVita building just being occupied in the last month, and we probably have 2,000 people working right here. I think the retail will come along, and that will really help activate the street and activate this complex.
Our goal is to have retailers and restaurants open by first quarter and second quarter of 2013.
This area is going to change substantially over the next short run.
What we're seeing is a trend towards a young urban professional, a higher income individual who's less reliant on the car.
The new consumer that lives in this area is one that lives, works, plays all in this immediate downtown area.
Right from the beginning, Bentall Kennedy wanted a residential project that was unique and differentiated itself from the marketplace.
We had an obligation to provide parking for this site that would satisfy all the commercial and the residential. When we designed the parking garage, we knew that we had height limits, but therefore building rights to add as much residential as we could. So we have planned a 150-unit apartment project that will come out of the top of the parking garage. The master planning for this area had a heavy residential emphasis, and yet the site that we're on here and the site that DaVita's on were commercial sites that had a little bit higher zoning rights in terms of height. So these really were commercial office buildings from the get-go, but there was an opportunity to introduce residential into the project, which created that mixed-use 24/7 kind of environment, and I think really fulfills Bentall Kennedy's vision of an urban mixed-use project.
The idea of being able to incorporate residential was very attractive to them because it would help energize the retail, the office, and the neighborhood.
The residential coming on board is going to be very exciting, and having 150 units that are occupied will really make this much more of a neighborhood setting and not just a collection of office buildings.
One of the things you'll see when this apartment community begins will be that it's smaller than the rest of the projects in the neighborhood. It allows it to be more distinctive. The lowest floor in this building starts where most buildings are capped off. And it allows each one of these units to have views that are really going to become unparalleled in the Platte Valley.
You maintain views in every direction, whether you're a resident or a corporate office user. I think the residential amenity that is offered here is the location.
What an exciting place to be, right at the center of it all, surrounded by the wonderful natural environment we have with Cherry Creek and the bike path and the Platte River and the confluence of wilderness in the city.